Hello, good day. Welcome to day 12 of the 30-day write and publish your bestseller on Amazon challenge. I'll take it. So today I want to talk about the 5 things you need to do to boost your book into the bestseller ranks. Okay? And I tried to make it a bit quick, but I'm sure it's something we'll all gain value from. So if you're online, just say hello quickly, and let's get started with today's topic. 5 things we need to do in order to get into the bestseller rank. Okay, so the first one would be having a great cover. Now, sometimes you might actually see a book and you see a cheap looking cover, a cover that maybe is just looking like, oh, they designed it with Microsoft Word and it was someone's younger brother who was just learning how to use the computer that designed it. Ensure that you have a very nice cover. Excuse me. So that it attracts your target audience. Now, what some people do is they tend to have their covers professionally done, and they get to take like 2 copies and post it in groups where their target audience are. I guess some of us might have observed this, perhaps on social media, maybe Facebook, Smart B Camp, or some other groups in which someone will say, oh, see, look at my book. Which one do you think has a nicer cover? Now, there are 2 ways by which, or there are 2 main reasons why people do that. Number 1, you are subtly letting people know that you want to launch your book, okay? And it's an opportunity for people who didn't know before that you are launching a book to know that you are about to launch a book, and for them to pre-order the book. Okay, another thing is it gives you the opportunity to let your target audience let you know what book resonates well with them. Because if you have people who can tell you that, oh, this one looks nice, and the majority of the people choose a particular cover that they feel looks nice and depicts the message of your book properly, what that means is that a whole larger number of people would also be able to connect with what they have chosen. Remember, the whole idea is to ask your target audience, go to the communities where they are, where they also allow people to post things like that, oh, please, I need your help, these are my 2 book covers, what do you think? Which one do you think explains better? Which one do you think depicts the core message better? And that way, when you have a larger number of people who you know are members of your target audience choosing a particular book cover, then most likely it's wise to go with that one. So book covers are things that ideally you should try your best not to skimp on, but I know that it's very possible that some people might not have the budget for it. In that situation, if you feel you cannot give it to a professional to do it for you, and you feel maybe the professional is going to charge something like $80, $400 and the rest, you could get some softwares. Some are paid, some are free. I think there's one, Pixel something, in which they have several book covers. Let me see, I think they launched recently. If I can find it, I will let us know. Okay, so we have canva.com, in which you can have free templates, either paid or free, in which you can use to create your book cover, so that you won't say, oh, I don't have money for book cover, and you don't get to launch your book at all. Phoebe. Okay, So ensure your book cover is professionally done. There are some softwares, also platforms that have maybe like 100 or more book covers. All you just have to do is to edit it, and you might find a cover that is appropriate for you. Okay, so now let me quickly go to another thing. You should connect with your target audience, and one of the best ways of doing that is posting your covers where your target audience are. Like I said, it's going to help them to know you're writing a book, and it's also going to help you to know which one resonates better with your target audience. Then ensure that it stands out. Best practice is that my other book doesn't necessarily have an image, but ensure that you have a book that could have an image. Let the lettering be bold. Let the lettering be bold. Let it be such that when there are several covers, yours will stand out. Okay, so a better book cover tends to convert better. There was this international best-selling author that once asked a question that which one is more expensive, a $5 book cover or a $400 book cover, and the answer was it depends. Why does it depend? If the $400 book cover is going to actually convert better, such that the person is able to make tens of thousands of dollars from it, the book goes on to become a bestseller, then the other one that is like $5 and it doesn't really get much sales, which one would you think is more expensive, or which one do you think is a better investment? It's going to be the $400 book cover that will be a better investment, because if you have already paid the amount and it have brought back much more in thousand folds, then it's a very serious investment that you've made, which pays you. So consider that very well when you are trying to reduce cost in publishing as much as you can. If you know you're not so good in graphic design, outsource it. Okay, at the end of this program, or at the end of today's topic, I'm going to put out different sections in terms of publishing our books. So if we know we fall under any of those categories, we could just post it. I know within our community we have some people that are proofreaders, editors, people that help transcribe. I think there's Rookie Mira among us. We have people that are also into graphics. We have like Olale Mustafa, we have Wisdom Bradford. So in case you need people to do your graphics for you, you have those that you can outsource to, or to edit your book for you. We have people within our community that you could always contact, and if you feel their work is expensive, then maybe you could look for someone else. But the most important thing is to look out for quality. Now another thing is, don't just go for cost, in terms of cost, and say, oh, this person's one is cheaper, or someone says, oh, but I did for so person. Now the person that they did for might have chosen them because of cost, because their work was cheaper, not necessarily that the person chose them because they could do a very good work. So just ensure that whoever you're choosing to do whatever work you're going to give them can deliver the standard you desire. It would be great to ask for previous work done. Of course, there might be some people that are just starting out and might not really have previous work done, and if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, great. But ensure as much as possible you get a good job done. Now, the second thing that you need to consider in order to make your book a bestseller that will really help you is your title. Your title should speak. your title should speak to your target audience. Now, that's another thing. We've been talking about having a book idea, and afterwards we can now have your book title. You don't have to think too much about your book title now. Like I said, while I was writing my book during the pre-order stage, the book title sort of changed several times, and there was a time in which I now asked in some communities where my target audience were that which one resonates better with you, and they were able to sort of take a vote, and in the end I took the decision. But I observed those that answered, and if I felt they were part of my target audience and I said, oh, this one resonates better with them, and so reason was why, it enabled me to know which title would help, because you're not writing the book for yourself, okay? It's just like blog posts. Those that blog, sometimes they tell you that the one that sometimes what you just need to do might just be to change the title of a blog post for it to become more converting. So it's similar to a book too. You might just need to change the title of a book. You might need to change the cover of a book to make it a bestseller. So another thing is, don't make it too long. You can use the subtitle to make sure it's catchy and is related to the core message of the book. Don't just give your book a book title because you think it's catchy and it's not relevant to what the book is about. Now, some people use keywords in the book title or in the subtitle, but if using keywords will not make your title will not make your title connect with your target audience, it's not compulsory to put it in the title. There are other places to put keywords for your book. You could use maybe the subtitle, you could use like a description and other things, so that you don't do keyword stuffing and in the end it does not connect. You're just trying to force keywords into your title and it puts people off, okay? Now, in case you're wondering what's a subtitle is something that gives greater credence to your title. It makes people understand better what your title is about, who is it for, or things like that. For example, my book, I titled it The Competent Entrepreneur, and I said how to hack your way to competence through quality. The subtitle was how to hack your way to competence through quality training at low or no cost. What is it all about? It's about letting people know that it's possible for you to get quality training for free or at discounted cost. While some people might get excited and boast in the fact that they have spent maybe 1 million for a particular training, I know that, well, because of the skills I have and the knowledge I have, I know that it's possible that for that same training, even sometimes from the same person, you can get it maybe 25% off or 50% off. Why? Because their strategies. All these trainers and tutors have a way by which they give out discounts and bonuses, and it's all legitimate. It's not like there's anything wrong with it. Or sometimes even give out their course for free, so it's all about knowing your target audience, also describing it, and not deceiving people, so that in the end people will be like, I want my money back. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this thing in which you go to the cinema and people are like, oh my goodness, please give me my time back or give me my money back. So it's similar. Don't let people look at it that, oh, they are paid for your book and they're like, oh my goodness, please give me back my time, the time I spent reading this book, or give me back the money I spent reading this book. Or they're like, man, forget the money, my time is even more important. I wish I could have my time back. Okay, and part of the reasons why people can say that is if the title or the subtitle have been misleading, and that can also affect the person being on the bestseller list. Because if people create reviews saying this book is stupid, is whacked, it's idiotic, if there's such a thing, basically that it's misleading, what they claim to provide is nowhere written in the book or cannot be found in the book, then it's going to affect your sales, it's going to affect your reputation. Now, the third thing which you should consider is your description. Your description is like a mini sales page in which you are trying to pitch why people should buy your book. Now, people usually take careful time to write the description. The description is usually not something you rush to write. Some people even pay others to write the description for them. Why? Because it's just like people paying copywriters to write their sales page. You want it to convert. You are telling them in your description, you'll be telling them about the benefits of your book, the transformation they can get from your book. I think it's similar to almost anything whenever you want to sell. People are not so concerned about the features, they're concerned about the benefits. When people enroll for a program from an online course for anything, what they are enrolling for is not the story. They're enrolling for the bigger picture, what they can see at the end of the tunnel, the transformation they will get. When you're selling a book, we say maybe weight loss book or tummy blast book and all that. What they are buying is the desire, or what they are buying is the fact that at the end of reading that book and implementing whatever is in that book, they will have a flat stomach, that they will be looking maybe nicer or sexier or whatever it is. That for those that want to wear half top, okay, they can wear half top and show forth their stomach, and it's going to be really looking hot. Or it will be the fact that if their spouse have been complaining about their big belly before, it can restore their marriage. There will be happiness in their home because their spouse would find them exciting once again. So what they are buying is the fact that there would be excitement once again in their home, in their marriages. So it's all those benefits, what's the transformation that your book can deliver, that you try to sell via the description. If you have one or two quotes that people that have read your book are saying about your book, you can also put it there. Okay, let it have a hook. And another thing is, in your description, let it be such that, especially if it's a if it's a fiction book, let them desire more. Let there be like a hook, let there be like suspense, such that in the end they'll look at it that, oh my goodness, I need to buy this book to know more. I don't know if you have watched all this series or CSI stuff in which if they want to maybe do adverts or they want to do the next episode, they stop at a particular place in which you're like, oh my goodness, I really need to watch the next episode. Okay, that's like it's having a hook, people looking at it that, oh my goodness, what next? Suspense, excitement. So as much as possible, try to not give away the whole content of your book in the description, but give them the desire to want more. Another thing you should look at, I've talked about the cover, the title, the description, the pricing, and there's going to be the sample part of your book, the part that people can access when they do look inside. So price is very important. When you're launching, it's good for you to launch with a lower price, even if you think your book what's maybe $100. It all depends on strategy. I would talk more on pricing separately later on, but some people launch with free and gradually move it. Some launch with $0.99 and gradually move it. For Nigerians with Nigerian audience, most times we will want to launch with free because most Nigerians don't really have the ability to buy on Amazon. But if it's $0, then they'll be able to buy your book, and your book can make the bestseller list that way. Why? Because you have like the hourly rank for bestsellers on Amazon, and if you can get targeted traffic, a whole lot of traffic to your book within a short period of time, that's what's going to make your book a bestseller. So it might just be that maybe 50 people buy your book, or even less than 50 people buy your book. Of course, there are other things which I will still teach and talk about. There's things like keyword, we said keywords, the categories where your book are. But in terms of a lot of people buying your book within a short period of time would make your book a bestseller. And for Nigerians with Nigerian audience, where most of the people are Nigerians, most likely it's easier to make the bestsellers list when your book is $0. Now, when you are able to make the bestsellers list and there's a lot of people buying over time and all that, there's what we call the Amazon algorithm ranking, which can enable your book sale gradually and remain there, but it all has a process. So you should now gradually change your price maybe to $0.99, so that those that saw it yesterday and think, oh, okay, I'll wait till tomorrow to buy it, and maybe the price has now changed. If it's $0.99, maybe that they saw it on Amazon, it's easier for them to buy it and say, oh, it's just $1. As against maybe it was from zero, you just moved it straight to $6. They'll be like, oh my goodness, beg. No need. But if it's that you just moved from $0.99 to $2.99, and maybe I'd stated over time that I'm doing a discount, I'm just doing a promo, the actual price is this, but I've brought it down for so time, and Amazon is showing it maybe via email, or depending on how many people have bought it and the algorithm, how well you're doing and all, then it might be in maybe hot new releases and so many other sections on Amazon that would make many more people be able to have access to seeing your book. And if your price is changing gradually, it's easier for people to buy it, because those that saw it before and procrastinated in buying, if they see it when next, and if the price change is not so much, then they would still buy it, and your book will consistently be on the bestseller list. So the last one I want to quickly talk about is the first 10% of your book, which is like the best first 10, maybe about first 10 pages or thereabout. Just know the first 10% of your book, which people will see when they are using the look inside. It's also a way to pitch your book. It's also a way ensure that it also has a hook, like maybe the introduction or whatever. Don't let it be such that from there they can know everything about your book. Let it be that just by reading your book, the first part, they'll be like, I would really love to buy this book. It's just like giving them a sample. It's similar here in Nigeria, in which sometimes some people want to buy maybe like suya, and the suya man gives them a little to taste, and they feel, oh, it's nice, I don't mind having more. Okay, so it's similar. Let's ensure that the first part of your book is very interesting. People take great attention and time in creating that part. Let it be something that hooks them, something that makes them desire more to. Thank you. Something that makes them desire to know more. So a quick recap: we have the cover. Remember, it's the outside thing. What makes a book a bestseller is the perception of value that people think they're going to get from it. Okay, so part of it is that they see your cover. It has maybe a nice picture. The image, the text comes out properly. It's not looking like a low quality cover. It's professionally designed. Remember what I said about investments? Remember what I said about a cover being an investment, because it can bring in much more. So don't skimp on it, okay? Don't skimp on your cover. If you desire to launch and you don't have the cash for it at this point in time, well, you can look at canva.com. They have some free and paid options. And within our group, we also have people that are into graphics that you could contact and find out what their cost will be. I spoke about the book cover. I spoke about your title. I said it should resonate with your target audience. I said it should not be misleading. I also spoke about your cover, the book title. We spoke about the first 10% of your book, that it should also be such that to make people want to know more. We talked about the description of your book, and we said that also should be like a way, like your sales page in which you're pitching the benefits and the transformation, so that they can desire more. You talk about your book, but everything, all these things are gearing to making people buy. Is the perception of value that they think they will get from your book. That's why they buy. because when they also read reviews based on what people have said about that book, the perception that, oh, this person has said so, I think I'll gain so value, that's why they'll buy your book and it'll become a bestseller. And lastly, I spoke about pricing. You can start with a lower price and you gradually change your price. You can do a promotion of $0, and as many people download and buy and the price changes, it enables more people to see your book, and Amazon is able to display your book in different sections of their websites depending on how many downloads you have had consistently over time. So you could start with 0, which helps you to stick to Amazon's ranking and flow well with the algorithm, so that it helps to keep you in a place where several people can see your book, even as the price is changing gradually. And if the price is changing gradually, then more people are likely to buy when they see your book. So if they saw it at 0 before and it's now $0.99, they're more likely to buy it than when they saw it at 0 yesterday and it has jumped to 6. And the more people buy, the more you remain on the bestseller list. Okay, so that will be all. Thank you so much for joining me, Gift Simeon. And